By the way, let me start. I opened the show today with a bunch of scenarios for the Lakers. Apparently, I forgot one, according to you.
Look, if I could choose one player on earth to put with LeBron James and Anthony Davis, as great as Kawhi is, and they'd be great because those three are just such great players, it would be Klay Thompson. Klay Thompson with LeBron and Anthony Davis would be phenomenal because when you have a big three, ultimately, either their games need to fit perfectly or somebody needs to step back. Like Kyrie and LeBron, who step back, Kevin Love. LeBron and D-Wade, who step back, Chris Bosh. These games fit. LeBron could be himself, AD could be himself, and Klay could be himself. He doesn't need to dribble. He can just catch. He's the best catch-and-shoot player in the league. Now, I don't think that's going to happen, but if I'm the Lakers, I'm like LeBron. Get Klay on the phone and ask him, look, you're our number one guy. Would you come? Because I think Klay's going to stay in Golden State. They're going to offer him the max as soon as they can, and he's going to resign. And Klay has no problem being the third guy. He has no problem getting, less shine than Steph, KD, Draymond even. So I don't think he has an issue with that. But if there's a part of him that would like to move from the shadow of Steph, going to the Lakers would be the way to do it. He'd still be the third guy, obviously, but they would win championships. He would have one, maybe two more championships without Steph, and that'd be huge for his legacy. So he would be my number one guy.
Now, let's say this. Kawhi Leonard spurns the Clippers and goes to the Lakers. I mean, honestly, I'm uncomfortable talking about it. It would be devastating. It would be the Red Sox losing to the Mets in '86, and they're below 500 the next year. So much of the Clippers' vibe this year was optimism and hope. Build as far as we can go with this group. What a gut punch. Do you think there's any realistic possibility that Kawhi would choose the Lakers?
Yes.
Remember,
I think I said it on this show a couple weeks ago. I had heard if AD goes to join LeBron, then the Lakers are in serious play for Kawhi. Now, I didn't believe it, and I don't think that will happen, but I certainly think it's a possibility. I don't think Kawhi is going to waste time meeting with teams that he's got no interest in. I still think the pecking order is Clippers 1, Raptors 2, Lakers a somewhat distant third. But the Lakers, I don't know if it's been reported, the Lakers better have LeBron and Anthony Davis in the meeting with Kawhi. All right? You let the business people and Linda Rambis, they don't need to be in there. LeBron and AD, because he has to sit there and Magic will make a call. Magic will, if he's not there, he'll make a call. Magic maybe should be there. But it's going to be a little difficult for Kawhi to say no to all those three guys. Like, look, man, we can do something special. LeBron is definitely with the narrative of, I'm going to be here for a few more years. Then you and AD still got plenty of time to do your thing in L.A. So, I think they're a third. But I do think it is something that is a possibility.
So I'm a big believer that part of greatness, Tom Brady and LeBron, it's not just talent. I don't think LeBron's the most physically – I don't think he's the greatest pure basketball player of my life. I think his offensive game has at times been heavy and clunky, and he's developed it.
He might be the greatest athlete, but not the most
he's
skilled,
a way better version of Westbrook, where his game, he loses confidence in his jumper. He couldn't shoot for years. I think Kobe is just a more athletically, naturally graceful athlete. But Brady and LeBron are very good at canceling out the noise. So this morning, say this out loud. Kevin Durant is running from great players. LeBron, for the third time, is trying to play with more great players. The knock on Kevin Durant, and I think it's a fair one, he is gifted athletically, but a little soft, a little emotional, struggles to block out the noise emotionally. My belief is what creates legends, not just great players, is shoulders up. That's really what separates Brady from a lot of guys with better arms. Tom is into repetition. He's into the process. He cancels out the noise. He's motivated, not beaten down by criticism. This morning, LeBron, recruit. Give me more great players. Get me Wiggins out, Kevin Love in. Securing myself, not seeking validation. Get me Wade and Bosh. Give me more good players. Right. This morning, Kevin Durant is running from the best group of players in the league. I think the optics this morning, if another star joins LeBron, KD running from talent, seeking validation with the second biggest franchise, and LeBron, this is why LeBron is the king upstairs.
Well, there's so much to unpack.
I know there is.
One, I can say, I'll tell you a story. I did a big story for ESPN, the magazine, on LeBron back when he was with Cleveland the first go-round. And I was told a story by the guy, Frankie Walker, who he lived with in elementary school.
Yeah.
That the grandfather, Frankie Walker's father, went to pick LeBron up from school one day. I think he was in 7th grade. And the principal of the school came out to meet the grandfather and said about LeBron, he pointed at LeBron and said, this kid, to the grandfather, this kid could be the president of the United States. Like that is something about LeBron. He has this intelligence that he's like a leader. Now, he's had his issues. We remember Dallas, and, I don't put him on the Michael Jordan scale of mental toughness, but LeBron is a leader. And he sees the bigger picture.
Always.
That's the thing. LeBron, when you talk to guys close to LeBron, they're constantly telling you, LeBron is not necessarily just looking at competing with KD or with Kawhi. He sees the bigger picture. He looks at players taking over the league, taking their destiny into their own hands. That's how he's looking. He's tried to sell Durant on that.
By the way, let me give you a minute story on Michael Jordan. So Michael Jordan, early in his career, Magic was winning titles. Michael was considered the greater individual player. So Nike and David Falk, Michael's agent, and Nike, without telling Michael, had come up with an idea. Michael against Magic for $1 million. Now, at the time, that was a lot of money in a one-on-one game. Nike was convinced it would be through the roof. David Falk, a brilliant agent, was convinced it would be brilliant. And they went to Michael Jordan. And Michael Jordan goes, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. He goes, Magic's already considered the great team player. I'm the great individual player. If I lose to Magic, I will have neither. And David Falk and the president of Nike in that moment went, oh, my God. Michael's right.
I had never heard that story.
So
he wouldn't have lost, but still.
No, right. No, and Michael knew that. He goes, I think I'm better, but if I did, it kills. And so to your point, LeBron and Michael, and I've heard the same thing about LeBron, they know exactly their brand. They know how they're viewed, how they're positioned. And LeBron is not worried about the exterior noise that he needs other people because he's smart enough to know everybody needs other people in this sport.
Well, he's a historian of the game, and he looks like at Magic. Magic pretty much had the most talented team in the league every year he played, right? I mean, he never won it without Kareem, and Worthy was there, obviously, and Jamal Wilkes. Bird, same thing, great. I mean, Dr. J never won it without Moses. LeBron knows that. So when he went to Miami while everybody was killing it, and it was different because it was player-generated, he knew, look, I'm only doing what the greats have done. They were put in that position,
right?
But I'm putting myself in that position. That's the only difference. Let me say this also about LeBron, because I do think it may be more in the past than now. There's been an element of him worrying about or being concerned with what people said about him or thought.
He is human.
But he was smart enough to know himself. And so he started going, what? 0 dark 23. After the Dallas series, because I think it was just voices in his head that made him struggle against Dallas. After that series, every postseason, I'm turning off social media. I'm not watching SportsCenter. I'm not paying attention to any of that. I'm in my zone. I'm reading my books. I'm watching my movies. That's it. Kevin Durant has not made that decision. I don't know if it's he doesn't know himself well enough. I don't know if it's he grew up more with social media than LeBron did because of his age. But Kevin Durant needs to go zero dark 30 and turn off the social media and all that stuff just like LeBron did. So that's an example to me of knowing yourself better than someone else.
There's a couple of things I want to touch on because I think starting later today, it started actually yesterday. I mean, we've already had the AD move,
right?
And now we got the cap space move. So there's already been big moves, both by the Lakers. The Lakers have so far stolen free agency. They land AD and they clear cap space. But I think by later today and tomorrow morning, you're going to start hearing things. Things are being negotiated. I want to come back with Chris Broussard. I got a couple questions on, I think, a couple captivating and really smart fits that people aren't talking about enough. We were just talking during the break, Chris Broussard, about a weird scenario. I don't think it'll happen.
I don't either, but it's possible. You want to go there?
Are we sure Kyrie's going to Brooklyn? What if he didn't?
All right, I'll give you some insight on Kyrie. I do think Brooklyn is definitely at the forefront of his mind right now. There are people close to Kyrie that will tell you he's very unpredictable and changes his mind. Like, so he might plan something and then at the last minute change his mind. It could be what I'm going to do this weekend. It could be our dinner plans for the night. It could be where I'm going to play next year in free agency. But he will change his mind, or he thinks about something the second time and says, nah, I don't want to do that. So even people close to him are leaving open the possibility of virtually everything. So with that said, here's the scenario we were talking about. If Brooklyn doesn't get Kevin Durant and says, you know what, we're not going to bring in Kyrie by himself, which if I'm Brooklyn, Kyrie's better than D'Angelo Russell, no doubt. But I would keep D'Angelo Russell. Assuming there were no major issues with him and his teammates in the locker room, whatever, which I didn't hear of anything, I would keep D'Angelo. He's cheaper, and then go from where I was last year. If New York doesn't get Durant and says, we're not going to take Kyrie by himself, then where does Kyrie go? Then that's when I think the Lakers are in play. Unless Kyrie and Durant said, you know what, why don't we go to the Clippers together? So that could be a scenario. But I think that would be the best opportunity for the Lakers to get Kyrie.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from The Herd or go watch a few segments from other shows on FS1.